Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome to our webinar on amazing storytelling for your campaign. My name is Brother Jawad Khan. I'm a business development specialist with LaunchGood. And alhamdulillah, I'm really excited to be speaking with you all today about our campaigns and specifically storytelling for your campaigns. And so, inshallah, today we're going to be covering a little bit about how to build out your campaign, specifically the pitch, the story of the campaign, so that you're able to gain the success that you're looking for with your crowdfunding campaign, inshallah, for your cause, for your organization, for whatever it is that you're trying to raise funds for. We know that when people come to a site like LaunchGood, they're not just looking for the donate button immediately. They see a collection of stories, of stories that people have gathered about what it is they're raising money for and how it is that they can be part of that story. And so when we say storytelling, this is one of the most indicative things of a successful campaign, is that it has a compelling story right from the get-go. And so this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a professional writer or literary writer or any of these types of things. We're going to give you the tools that you need right now to be able to really engage with audiences, engage with donors in a way that actually gets them to donate and to connect with your story, connect with your cause, connect with whatever it is you're trying to raise funds for, inshallah. So what makes a compelling campaign story? And I apologize if my face is cutting off any part of the screen. What makes a compelling campaign story? So there's a few different elements that we're going to go over, inshallah. So the first thing is going to be effective title and bold headings. So the first thing that someone's going to see on your campaign is going to be, one, if they see the title of the campaign, they're going to click on that, and usually they'll see the image of the campaign. For the image, it's very important to have a really good image if you can. This doesn't mean it has to be a pristine stock photo image. It can be, pictures of those who are volunteering for your organization, pictures of those who may be benefiting from whatever relief work or whatever it is that you're doing. Usually faces is very helpful because people really engage with faces, especially if you can have smiling faces, showing kind of the benefits of whatever it is that you may be doing, or just the faces of those who may be affected by whatever cause it is that you're working for. And so the photo is going to be the first thing that people see after they read out that title. The important thing about the title is that it shouldn't be something that is so creative that it's unclear. And what I mean by that, whenever you have a choice between creativity and clarity, go with clarity, because people need to know exactly what this campaign is about. When I usually work with campaign creators, I suggest to them, instead of kind of creating a flowery type of name in which it's something to the effect of, let's help us to build bridges in this world today, or something like that, where it's very vague and I don't know where my money's going or thinking about it. Rather, you want to be able to blend that type of creativity with clarity. Help us feed 100 families in Yemen this year. Help us, be able to stave off the COVID-19 pandemic, economic crisis. These types of things by helping us help a food pantry is what I was thinking about there with families who are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So clear headings as best you can. In this example I have here, it's called The Silenced Pandemic. Help us stop domestic and gender-based violence. So this one has a little bit of an interesting title. It's very there, The Silenced Pandemic, but then it explains out exactly what it's talking about: domestic and gender-based violence. And so this was a very, alhamdulillah, a successful campaign that's still running right now. And so this is a very clear and strong title. So that's the first thing you want to think about, is how can I title this in a way where the main thing you're trying to stave off is, does it have any type of curse of knowledge that I have when I'm writing this? Curse of knowledge is a term that basically means, do I know so much about it that I'm writing it in a way where I have to kind of know already the information? So am I putting the name of my organization that maybe people don't know the name of my organization? Am I saying, help us to uplift youth? And I know exactly how we're uplifting youth, but if somebody off the street was to just read my campaign, they would have no idea. So I have this type of curse of knowledge, meaning I have the knowledge of everything going on with my campaign, that it's making me a little bit blind to see how is someone else viewing this. And so you want to make sure that it's something that I need no backstory for. It clearly just tells me what it is that I'm raising funds for. You want to emphasize your main points. So in your campaign story, I'm going to tell you something that is a little bit unconventional, but generally we know that your story has a beginning, middle, and end, right? It has the beginning, middle, and end. That's how most stories are. The thing is that there's a famous quote that says, every story has a beginning, middle, and end, but not necessarily in that order. So in a campaign, It's actually more important to write your story, not from the beginning, middle, and end, not from, you know, I was born this day and we built this organization and this year and we, you know, we started doing work like this and it started coming. When people come to your campaign, it's actually better to format it as the end, middle, and beginning. So what do I mean by that? The end of your story is where you're at right now. We're looking to raise, you know, $100,000 to be able to feed thousands of families who are suffering in this country, right? That's the end of the story, be part of the story. Then you want to go down to the middle where you're fleshing out the details and you're saying, here's the organization, here's who we are, or here's, you know, my story. I'm trying to study at do some Islamic studies or trying to finish my education. Here's a little bit about what I've accomplished so far. So that gives some legitimacy. You want to put statistics, you want to put past endeavors, past achievements there in that middle part, because someone will, one, want to know what you're raising funds for. Then if they get more interested, they'll scroll down and read a little bit about what you've accomplished. Then at the bottom, you want to put the beginning of the story. You want to put, here's the full background and scope on all of this, you know, everything happening with the organization, because the people who are most interested will be able to get down all the way to that bottom part and will appreciate that kind of founding story of whatever it is that you're raising funds for. And so emphasizing the main points, and keep note of this order as I talk about it. Clear breakdown of funds. This is also something that can be very helpful for the campaign, especially further down. How are my funds being used? And what's the impact of it? Inshallah, let me actually move forward in the slides, because in the next one, in terms of emphasize main points, here you'll see, this is one of our successful campaigns going on right now. Save Institute, I believe it's in Atlanta, where they have a urban sustainability project. This is just a snippet of their campaign, and you can see it starts with a nice bold heading. You want to put headings throughout your campaign to be able to guide people through, so if they only read the bold headings, they get what's going on. Empowering our youth through sustainability, then some explanation on that. Then it goes down to say something to the effect of help us build a center for our youth. Where your funds are going. So if you want to put these bold headings in a way on your campaign, it'll help you to be able to have the reader be able to see everything almost like a table of contents. Emphasizing main points is what we talked about. Clear breakdown of funds. This is a legacy campaign for a brother who passed away, Brother Hamza. And so here it mentions toward the end of the campaign, or in basically toward the bottom part of it, this is why we've decided to build a water system in his name through Islamic Relief, mentioning a little bit about Islamic Relief and where the funds are going to. And then down there, I want you to see the what we can do together. It mentions the breakdown of $1,000 can help set the foundation for a solar-powered water generator in the drought-prone regions. So what your money is actually doing, very helpful for donors to see that. And you can also add that into your giving levels as well, but it's good to include in the story of the campaign as well. Strong details. Want to make sure you add in these type of details that tell the story of the campaign, as we talked about. So inshallah, I'm going to take a little bit of a breather and a pause because we went through a lot just now. I'm just going to go through and just mention again the main points of what we just said. Your title is extremely important. Make it very clear as possible. Make it as clear as possible. Your main campaign image, very important. Try to have faces and something that's relevant for your campaign. And then next, bold headings. We're going to have those throughout the campaign to guide a reader through it. And the order that you tell your campaign in, the order of the story, is the ending, meaning here's where we are now and what we need to do. The middle, here's a little bit more about our organization and what we've accomplished, or more about myself and what I've been able to accomplish and why I'm coming to this point. And then finally, the beginning at the bottom there. Here's the real inception of why all this started. And this is a good order to put things in. And then clear breakdown of funds we mentioned here. Being able to tell campaign donors what it is that their money is going to is also extremely helpful. Moving forward now. Get inspired. Now it's your turn for your campaign. The best way to start your own campaign is to find campaigns that you would personally donate to first. Go to LaunchGood, check out the campaigns that are available there, see which ones catch your eye, which stories really resonate with you. Just read through some of the campaigns and see what is it that I'm responding to here. And then ask yourself these questions when it comes to your campaign. How do I want my audience to feel while reading my page? Think about that emotional element. How do I want them to actually feel? Why should someone want to donate to my campaign? You got to give them an actual reason to donate. It's not just, this is a great story. You also have to say, yes, this is the story where we're at, and this is the story where we want to go, and you can be a part of that. Why would they want to donate? And then what main points do I want to highlight for my reader? Think through what actually is important for someone who may want to donate to my campaign. what is important to highlight? I'm going to take a quick pause. Thank you for that. So moving forward, first impressions. So as we said, a title is the first thing that potential donors will see. So your title should highlight the main challenge of your campaign, meaning help us do X, Y, Z. Who the campaign is benefiting, who is this specifically for, and then draw donors in while being short and clear. Very important there, make sure it's as clear as possible and make sure it can fit basically within those 1 lines to maybe 2 lines on the screen, no more than that, to make sure that it's visible, and when you share it, people can kind of see it very clearly. Headings can be just as important as a good title. So think of it like a table of contents, as I said. Break up your story with 3 to 4 headings before your paragraphs, and this will help readers quickly see the main points of your campaign. Nice to meet your campaign. So again, first impressions. Introductions. The first section of your campaign, once you kind of are in there, most people will only read the headline. Most people will only read the headline, then maybe, the next amount, maybe say 90% of people will only read the headline, or let's say 80% of the people. Let's say that maybe the next, 10% actually read the first paragraph that you have. And then the rest of the people may come down and read out the rest of it, because the first thing that they see is what is gonna, immediately give them that spark of, I'm looking to donate. So maybe that'll be enough for them, but you still need to flesh these things out. And so this first paragraph is gonna be very important. The first section of your campaign should introduce your reader to all the main characters of your story. So think about these questions. What exactly is your cause, and who are you to that cause? So if you're raising on behalf of an organization, who is this organization? And what is the cause that they're raising funds for? If you're raising on behalf of yourself or for individuals and people, what exactly is the cause? We're raising money for education of some sort. We're raising money for a fund. We're raising money for a legacy for somebody. We're raising money for someone's medical bills, raising money for whatever it is that you're trying to raise money for. What is it that you're trying to raise money for, and who are you to that person? I'm a community member who, is doing this on behalf of them. I'm a member of this masjid. I'm a member of wherever it is. Mention who you are. Again, only in so much as is relevant, because you only want to put what is as most relevant as possible and not spend too long on this. Don't put your life story. I was born in, a log cabin in this day, or whatever it is. You don't want to start that way. You want to start with, here's exactly what's relevant. I'm raising money for this, and this is who I am and how I'm connected to this cause. Are you raising funds on behalf of a beneficiary, for an organization, or an entrepreneurial project that you're starting? So there's also creative projects on LaunchGood. So if you're starting a campaign for example, to publish a book, or to make a product, or to make a video or a film or anything like that as well, start off with, this is exactly what we're trying to do, and this is exactly who we are. I'm a person who, always, I'm a filmmaker or a film student, or, I'm a product developer and designer, or, whatever it is that that you are, or if maybe you're an MSA or you're some part of some sort of organization, mention that as well. You want to establish a relationship between yourself and the reason that you're creating your campaign. The breakdown. Again, a breakdown of the funds being raised. This is something we saw in the earlier slide. Your donors should always know clearly who, what, where, when, why, and how the funds are being managed. Most important questions your campaign story should answer is, who is benefiting from the fund? What kind of impact would a donation create? We talked about that earlier when it said something like $1,000 allows you to build a foundation of a well. $20 will let you, have a small brick in this masjid that we're building. Whatever it is that you can do to create that impact, it'll help. $100 or $50 helps me to be able to pay for my tuition studies for a week. Put it in those terms, and donors really respond to that. What inspired you to start your campaign? Why should readers donate to your campaign? How the donation will aid you or others that you're raising money for. And remember to always emphasize transparency when you're thinking through this story, because the donor base really appreciates transparency. Crowdfunding is not something wherein it's people just kind of, everybody coming to the website and saying, I want to donate to any type of good cause, and just immediately pressing donate. Crowdfunding is a space where people tell their stories and they invite others to be part of that story by donating to their campaign. And so this is not something that's easy for anonymous organizations or people who are trying to do these types of work. It's always better to have that transparency in full story, because that's just how it is with people giving toward crowdfunding campaigns. They want to know what story is going on and make sure that everything is legitimate and transparent as well. Oh, excuse me. It's all in the details. So we're nearing the end here, inshallah, wrapping up, but just wanted to fill in the rest of this for us. It's all in the details. So make sure that you fill in the blanks with what's unique about your campaign. Make sure that you create an emotional appeal. Think in terms of emotional words and what it is that's actually going to resonate with people. And then finally, really important, adding media to your campaign. If you have a video, really, really helpful to upload that and have that be right at the top of the campaign. It's actually on LaunchGrid what you can put a featured video so that someone who clicks on your image will immediately see the video that's created. But also pictures, you can add them in your story itself. Add them throughout the campaign. They really are helpful to be able to create an inviting story for people to kind of come into and to visually be able to see what's going on with your story. So use all the tools to your disposal, bold, italics, as we said, headings, create that emotional appeal and put a face to the campaign with pictures of who is benefiting from the cause or who it is that's doing the work, who's volunteering. And this really brings people in for your story. And then finally, triple check your work. Time to dot your I's and cross your T's. It's important to reread your campaign. Remember, this is a very important thing when it comes to a campaign for crowdfunding. Think of it more so like an event. It's not just a donation page. It's an event that you're running where from this day to this day, we're going to try to raise this much money in funds. And there is where you really want to make people part of the story to say, hey, we're really trying for this. We're really trying to get to this goal. So you want to make sure that by the time you launch everything, by the time you push it out to the world, everything is triple checked and made sure that it's all there. You're looking for a natural flow and timeline in your story, clear and easy to read paragraphs, good quality pictures, and well-defined main points with supporting details. The big tip on this slide is make sure to always send your story to a trusted friend or family member to look at the page before publishing it. This has helped me immensely so many times when you're so involved with your cause or your story or whatever it is you're raising funds for, you may write everything out and not understand exactly how it's coming off because you're just too far into it. So getting a fresh set of eyes on it really helps to be able to see a different perspective and allow people to tell you feedback and be open to taking the feedback of how it is you're appearing in terms of the story of what you're trying to raise funds for, and be open to making those tweaks and making those different changes to be able to create the best possible story. So alhamdulillah, I really hope that this was a beneficial means for you to be able to create an amazing, compelling campaign because your story is already amazing. Anybody who's taking this step to try to raise funds for some sort of good cause, trying to launch good into the world in some way, I'm sure there's an amazing story behind it already. And it doesn't mean amazing as in it's interesting and it's crazy and there's big numbers involved or there's some huge, it doesn't have to be some sort of huge disease or some sort of really big human interest, surprising shock thing. Somebody doing good for somebody else is always an interesting story. It's just a matter of presenting it in a way that will actually get people to connect with it and be able to donate and get you to the success you're looking for with your campaign, inshallah. And so with that, we also have Giving Tuesday coming up December 1st, 2020. Really excited for that on LaunchGrid. There's a ton of ways to be able to win matched funds and prizes. And I think we have about $100,000 worth of prizes throughout Giving Tuesday 2020. And actually for LaunchGrid, we're doing it 2 days in a row this year. So not just on Tuesday, but Monday and Tuesday is when we're going to be running promotions and competitions for Giving Tuesday for people to be able to give so that we have an international base and global audience ready to be giving to campaigns like yours. And we actually have a storytelling competition, as this slide says, from the Sterling Grant, in which campaigns who are able to pitch amazing stories are going to compete to be able to win some of this prize, which includes a high quality video production for your campaign, where you'll be able to use it to highlight your work and promote it, inshallah. So get to working on your campaign, inshallah. You can go to launchgrid.com + start a new campaign, and you can already start editing it and get everything there. If you need any assistance or help, for Giving Tuesday specifically, we have this resources page set up, launchgrid.com / Giving Tuesday resources. And there you can also schedule a call with one of our experts who will be able to walk you through any type of difficulty or questions that you're having. I believe the URL there is launchgrid.com / consult. So jazakumullah khair, everybody, for joining. I really hope that this was a beneficial set of time for you to be able to really bring visibility and awareness to the campaigns and the causes that you're trying to raise to. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put tawfiq and blessing into all that you're trying to accomplish, and bring success to all the good work you're trying to do. We really appreciate it here at LaunchGood, and we're here to support you in whatever way that you need. Jazakumullahu khair, everybody. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.